Hello. Oh goodness. Hello. Hi. I just got back from the toilet. やば。ちょっと待って。Hi, hi. Take a seat, take a seat. Okay, so welcome. Again, I've saved you a spot, but like I was in the bathroom. So like, I hope you didn't get too lost in trying to find me. Hello. So, as always, how was work? Today, I personally had a lot of productivity. I tidied up my desk in my office. I tidied up my desk. I got new shelves. Since they're IKEA, I had to like assemble them myself, but it was very fun for me. I like building kits and stuff like that. So technically, IKEA counts as a building kit. It's kind of like a puzzle if you really think about it. It was very fun and very satisfying to work with. Yeah, I personally had a lot of really productive doings today. And I even got coffee for tonight, which, okay, coffee at night, really? I am not gonna sleep, but hey, TGIF, right? Okay. So, have you gotten a snack yet while I was in the toilet? Or maybe like a drink? If you have, good for you, I guess. I don't know. Alright. So, actually what I'm having right now, the coffee, pistachio latte. I do not taste the pistachio at all. It might have been because it's low sugar. I usually tend to buy the ones that are less sugar. But I do not taste the pistachio at all. It's such a scam. But yeah. Anyways. So, you know how I always speak in English, right? Like you've been here for like what, 2-3 months? You know how I'm speaking English? Well, despite that, I'm actually 100% Indonesian. I think I've already said that in like my introduction video, but I am 100% Indonesian in case anyone new here is actually interested. So, to prove, hi, namaku Shoya, aku dari Tenshi Corp. Hari ini aku sebagai intern. Technically aku tetap sebagai intern, tapi yeah, selamat datang di Off the Clock. But yeah, that's me trying to prove myself that I'm Indonesian. Anyways, there's a lot of reasons as to why I'm more comfortable speaking in English. Wait, is audio still okay? May I have some confirmation? You can hear me through the music, right? You guys can hear me through the music, right? Mr. G, if you're there, please help. Let's get out. Mr. G? Doko? The audio is okay? Okay, thank you. Okay. Go man. The music isn't too loud. Okay, thank you. Sorry. I got a little worried there. No one's talking in chat. Okay, so as I said, right, there's a lot of reasons as to why I'm more comfortable in speaking in English. One of them being is I actually learned English before learning Indonesian. Allegedly. Ironic, right? Ironic. Like, I'm fully born in Indonesian. Born from Indonesian parents, but why is English the first language that I learned? I'm gonna say Indonesian mention. Anyways, yeah, so why I say allegedly is because most of these are actually from what my mom told me. So all of these, and it was from when I was like really little, so I don't really remember anything. Obviously, when you're a baby, your brain isn't turned on. My mom does. So allegedly, I learned English before learning Indonesian. It is not her fault. I want to preface this before we get into like further into the topic. It's not her fault. It's not of my family's fault. None of my parents' fault that I learned English before Indonesian. just coincidentally, I grew up Disney, a lot of like Western movies. Like, I remember like Kung Fu Panda was a big thing for me when it first came out. Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar, those kind of movies. Like, you know, the obvious like really popular cartoonish movies back then. I would indulge in that more often than Indonesian media. Because frankly, back then, I don't actually know if there's any, like, I don't even really know if there's any, like, Indonesian media that, well, that was something that I would watch, you know? I know there is, like, channels specifically for those, like, Indonesian subtitles, Indonesian, like, dubs and stuff like that. I did watch those, but I still kind of grew up, like, way younger, I would still listen to a lot more English, medias. So, yeah. It's not to say I didn't learn Indonesian either, or whether or not it's intentional that I learned English first. Again, it was all just kind of like unintentional. So, my mom thought it was great that I learned English first, which is, it helps me a lot because it makes me a straight A student in English class, specifically English class. And it gave me a lot of like opportunities and kind of like a bigger head start for understanding English. The problem lies when I actually start talking in Indonesian. Okay, right? So, like if you hear like an Indonesian say that they learn English, or like a lot of like Indonesian who speak English a lot, most people, or at the very least like a lot of Indonesians will assume that do you like live abroad or something, or like Australian, or maybe like Singaporean, or do you live like anywhere like around Indonesia but you're not actually Indonesian? No, I was born and raised in Indonesia, so a lot of them speak Indonesian, bahasa Indonesia. Oh my god, my English scores was crazy high, but my Tagalog scores were always failing. Yeah, right? That's me with like, not international preschools per se, but they do teach English early on, so we would have English vocabularies here and there. So, like, because of that, even my aunt, who used to be an English teacher back in the day, didn't fully understood what I was trying to say. So this is a story my mom told me. So as a kid, I would complain a lot, as most kids do, right? As a kid, I would complain a lot. So there was a moment where I'd come up to my aunt, and tell her, sticky, something sticky, or something like that. And for a while, no one in my family knew what I was saying until they finally got it. Oh, sticky as in lengket. Like, apparently that is a common occurrence. Which brings us to the next story. I have a driver back at home that he's been our driver for as long as I remember. And he's also fully Indonesian, of course, right? So, he also doesn't really understand a lot of English. So because of that, whenever I'd complain to him in English, he'd be begging for mercy, asking me to say it in Indonesian. Like, kid, please speak it in Indonesian. Tolong deh pakai bahasa Indonesia. Bapak nggak ngerti. Something like that. It was like, yeah, like the things that I would complain, I don't know, my mom would always like mention like, oh, either like sticky like lengket, or like something the window. And I was like they don't understand like what a window was until they like recognized I was pointing at the window as in like a kaca, or like, is it kaca in Indonesian? See, I'm getting things mixed up. Not cermin. Cermin is like, dang it. This is my struggle firsthand. But like, of course, I did learn Indonesian. later on, much later on. Not super later on, but like later on. Jendela, yes. window, jendela, iya. But yes, of course, I did learn Indonesian later on. But then I entered kindergarten. Kindergarten. And it taught me Indonesian even more fluently. And apparently, I had the worst grammar on Bahasa Indonesia. Apparently my Indonesian grammar is ass. Which I never realized until she told me. Because like no one told me. Like I would like mix up like some words here and there, like oh man, I don't even know how to like give an example, because like I've just been like speaking like this my entire life, and I don't know what's like, I don't even know if like there's anything wrong with how I speak in Indonesian. But apparently my grammar is all over the place. But like with Indonesian, thankfully, like it didn't really matter all that much. Like the message still gets conveyed, you know, because with Indonesian, like Indonesian grammar is kind of easier to pick up on than English. It's not very specific. So like, for example, example sentence, right? Yesterday, I went to play my ball. Wrong either. Like it still gets the point across. It just kind of means like I played my ball yesterday. So like it's kind of like I don't know how to like really give a good example of that. But yeah, so allegedly my mom says that about me. Yeah. Okay. Then like another problem is that because I learned both English and Indonesian growing up, I always seem to sort of not master the two, if that makes sense, you know? It's like well, I guess I've been kind of giving you an example of my struggles. So like I'm great with Indonesian, but at the same time I'm not. And I'm great at English, but at the same time I'm not. Like now it just feels like I can't speak up my mind the same way, you know? Because it'll always get mixed up with the words from the other language. Like the jendela and window. What? Jack of all trades, master of one moment. Exactly. Oh, man, talking about that, I feel that my whole entire life, not gonna lie. Like, I feel like I have a lot of skills, but like I'm not a master at any of them. I feel like that. I actually feel like that. Not just with like my language, but like just my skill sets in general. But like, jack of all trades kind of moments or like skills. It's depicted as bad, but it's not. It's very useful actually. I don't get why people think it's bad. Like, okay, you're not a master at one thing, but at the very least you have plenty of skills to kind of like show off, you know? Off topic. Alright. Oh, right. And this is a personal pet peeve of mine, right? Because I speak a lot of English with my friends growing up, most of the time, I feel like they need to speak English with me, even though they can do it in Indonesian. This is just from observation and a tiny bit of assumption. I do not want to assume. I know it's kind of bad, but this is kind of like way back then when I was like still kind of much younger than I am right now. But like back then, seeing my friends talk in Indonesian while they specifically talk in English with just me, it makes it feel like, you know, kind of like left out in a way. And sometimes because of that as well, it makes me not understand a lot of like Indonesian jokes or memes, Like a lot of the things that like back then would like get lost in translation. Like, oh that makes sense. Oh, that's a joke. Makes sense. Which, oh my gosh, another thing. But before that, like I'm not mad at my friends at all, by the way. Like, to any of my friends watching this, I do not hate you. I don't hate you at all. I love you all so much. This was way back then. Way back then. I don't mind you talking to English with me. I don't mind you talking to in Indonesian with me. I love you either way. Plus, I talk a bit more Indo now casually anyway, so no hard feelings, okay? 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 Love you. Love you. The other thing that I wanted to say, freaking... There are literal moments where I would learn something in Indonesian and not fully understanding until now that I understand that meaning, that word that I was learning back then actually meant this thing in English. God, do I make sense? Do I make sense? Like, if I had known that if that word that I learned in Indonesian actually translated to this word in English back then, I would have understood it way easier. I feel like back then I didn't. Well, it was also kind of a me thing because I wasn't very inquisitive as a kid. Like, I didn't like ask a lot of questions, so like ultimately I just don't understand things. But like, okay, give me example. Give me let me try finding an example. It's very like, it's some specific words. Like sometimes it's a fruit, sometimes it's like even a fish, honestly. Like, is kerapu, ikan kerapu, carp? Like those kind of things, like, you know, like, oh wait, if you really think about it, that makes sense. Like kerapu and carp, or like shoot, I can't come up with it. Oh, I did not know this word translated to this whole time. Like, I've just been saying it in English, you know? A very specific thing. But yeah, so like, of course there would also be pros. Like I said, it's not just struggles, right? There's always a pro to a con. I am lucky and privileged to have attended and learned English at a younger age, and specifically even like in Indonesia, where it is a little more harder to get that kind of like education early on, or at the very least expensive. I am very lucky and privileged to have attended and learned English at a younger age, because it helps in the long run, right? It helps in the long run. I was always known to have straight A's in my English classes ever since like first grade, literally. And like, okay, straight A's in English, but like not every other class, unfortunately. Just English, which is like my most proudest achievement, even as a kid. There was actually one class that I struggled a lot. It was like second grade, I think. And I remember it because it was the first time I ever got a bad score in English. It was in second grade. I don't know why it just didn't work out for me. Like my little baby brain didn't understand the class. It was about trying to figure out how much or how many something is, like what to say if it's how much and what to say if it's how many, you know, that kind of thing. Like how much money, how many fruits do you have, something like that. And it didn't click with me back then, and it got me so frustrated. Like even as a kid, like, oh, this is my downfall. But like, I also remember in 10th grade, I impressed a bully. I remember impressing a bully. Okay, so first grade of high school, which was like 10th grade, when we had our first English test in class. So like in 10th grade, there was a lot of like newer students, right? And one of these students, later known to be kind of a bigger bully. So back when we first didn't know anything, like we were all still new, we were told to tell our grades for the teacher, and that also resulted in telling the whole class what your grade was, because we had to like present it in front of, not presented in front of the whole class, but like we have to tell teacher from our seat, and our teacher is like on a board or something like that, right? So in the end, it's kind of like us telling to the whole class what grade we did in that exam or test. I forgot if it was an exam or not. I kind of forgot why she did this. It might have been just to like input the grades on her to her notebook because she forgot or something. I don't know. But like I got a 98 for that, so close to 100. And I was sitting behind this big bully guy, right? Who honestly, he used to be really friendly with everyone. He was very friendly with me when we were like working on like group projects. He's very friendly and he would talk a lot. It's just that sometimes his like jokes can go way out of hand very quickly, and like very unfortunate because like I feel like he could have been a chill guy, but no, he is very hot-headed and I do not like him one bit. Anyways, I told the class, or to the teacher at least, that I got a 98, and I was sitting behind this guy, and he immediately like went, whoa. Like literally, like the class was so quiet, like you could hear him kind of like whispering like, whoa, you know, like goddamn. And because of that, I got an ego boost, of course. I got a bit of an ego boost. Like just like tossing my hair back, it's like, yeah, I got a 98. What did you get? No, that's mean. That's kind of mean. I'm sorry. Also, like, okay, in the same class, right? Same class. Can I talk about this teacher real quick? She is a wonderful teacher, by the way. Super friendly and fun to be around. Great teacher as well. I love her with all my heart. But she's also very picky with giving grades. I remember, different test. I remember getting a 98 because I had a typo. I never got a perfect score with her because it's like most of the time it's always a singular typo. It's very frustrating. But yeah, I still love her. She's very fun. She handled a student exchange program that I was gonna go into, and she was just very friendly to be around. But yeah, love her. Dislike how she grades my work. It was a typo! Seriously! Oh, I remember the typo now. It was affect and affect, you know? Affect with an E, affect with an A. Because yes, that's they're two different meanings, but it's a typo! It's a typo, and you declined so much freaking points for that. What the heck? But anyways, yeah. Oh, advice for parents. I don't know if there's any parents who's gonna watch this, but some words for parents who are going to like raise a kid, I guess. If you're living in a country that doesn't prioritize English as your mother tongue, in this case like Indonesia or like any other like country that doesn't have English as a mother tongue, then I suggest you making your kids learn your mother tongue first before English. Like, it would make a lot more sense, of course, but like, teach them your mother tongue first before English. Like, English can come a bit later, like even much later if like you teach them right, or you get a tutor or something. And make sure your kid is able to articulate their thoughts to you first via your mother tongue, or just talk to you in your mother tongue, like comfortably and like fluently. And as always, monitor your kids. That's my words for parents. Admittedly, English can be intimidating to learn, especially like on when you're kind of like learning it much later. So it's a new a new language in general. So it's a new language in general. Now, wait, sorry. I was making sure chat wasn't like frozen or anything. Yeah, wait. Okay. Yeah, I think chat is fine. Alright. So, yes, English can be intimidating, but if you can't integrate it to your current mother tongue with studying said language, it would be a lot easier. What I mean is that, like, kind of correlate it with what your mother tongue is, or mother language? Wait, why am I making this hard for myself? Like, try to like find some words that can that you're trying the one that you're trying to learn and your mother tongue. It would be a lot easier. I do this, like, this was something that I learned recently because it makes sense, you know. Especially with me learning like Japanese. Like, I learned Japanese on and off. I think I've mentioned this before. I learned Japanese on and off. So, because I know how to kind of like make sense of some words in Japanese to Indonesian, it makes it easier for me. So, example. What I like to do when I learn Japanese is linking certain words with actual Indonesian slang or words. So in Indonesia, we don't have just one way of saying I, like me. Like, we don't have just one singular way to say it. There's multiple ways, like the formal way, which is saya, the casual way, which is aku, and the even more casual way to address your friend or someone you're close with is gue. And it differs with a lot of other traditions as well, but like, that's the one I grew up with. So like, that's what I try to like encompass when I integrated with Japanese. So example, saya would be watashi, aku would be boku, and gue would be ore, or something like that, you know? Like, it would make a lot more sense if you like understand what the words mean. Like, yeah, watashi is still the most like used word to represent yourself, like I, but you'd be a lot more fluent if you understand like there's like boku, like Boku no Hero Academia, which means My Hero Academia. And in English it is a little harder because English is kind of more singular with their like pronouns. But like for Indonesia it's much easier because we have like saya, aku, gue. And so we can kind of link it with those. And if your mother tongue has that kind of like language structure, it would be much easier as well. So yeah, that's my tip on learning on learning English or just any other language in general. That's it, honestly. A very short discussion. Very short. Honestly, do I oh man, I had this thought when coming in here because I wanted to talk about these like struggles for a while. But like, I know I'm supposed to be talking it in English because the channel is mainly in English. But I wonder if I could talk about it in Indonesian as well. Just like translate the whole talking point to Indonesian. Jadi kamu tahu kan, aku kalau berbicara itu selalu pakai bahasa Inggris kan. Tapi walaupun gitu, aku tuh seharusnya 100% orang Indonesia. Aku lahir dan tinggal di Indonesia selama aku membesarkan diri. It's a little awkward because I'm gonna get kind of like really formal with my words. Aku kayak bakal baku banget dengan bahasa Indonesia aku. Kadang kayak aku nggak ngomong kayak gini terus sama kayak teman-teman aku, tapi kayak Gak tau kenapa kok lagi streaming tuh rasanya tuh pengen formal gitu. Also another thing, my Indonesian is kind of like, oh, what's it called in like English? Kind of like country girl. It's not really country girl either. It's like when people say like, oh, like something something like, you know, that kind of thing. I translate that to Indonesian, so I use like a lot. 100% Indonesian. Kayak aku tuh 100% Indonesian sih. Sebenarnya ada banyak hal yang bikin aku tuh lebih nyaman ngomong dalam bahasa Inggris. Salah satunya itu aku belajar bahasa Inggris sebelum belajar bahasa Indonesia. Katanya ironis kan? Nah, kata ibu aku tuh, kata mama aku belajar bahasa Inggris sebelum belajar bahasa Indonesia. Dan ini bukan salah dia, ini bukan salah siapapun atau kayak keluarga aku pun. Aku kayak emang dapet kayak film-film dan kayak kartun-kartun itu emang dari yang kebarat-baratan gitu loh, kayak bahasa Inggris, specifically bahasa Inggris daripada Indonesia. Bukan berarti aku benci Indonesia ya, bukan berarti gitu ya, tapi emang aku gak tahu kenapa ya dikasihnya emang, or kayak dapetnya yang kalau dari TV tuh kayak Disney gitu-gitu, kayak film-film kayak Kung Fu Panda, Madagaskar gitu-gitu. Dan aku juga kayak majalah gitu-gitu, aku dulu seringnya yang kayak Disney gitu. Aku nggak ingat sih itu pakai translatean bahasa Indonesia atau enggak, soalnya aku nggak baca sih. Aku tipe anak yang lebih suka picture book, kayak baju majalah-majalah yang cuman gambar doang. Ya jadi kayak bukan berarti aku nggak suka bahasa Indonesia atau kayak emang diperuntukkan untuk belajar bahasa Inggris dulu. Emang kayak coincidence aja. Coincidence bahasa Indonesia apa? Tuh kan? Jadi kayak kecampur-campur gitu vocabulary aku. Dan kayak ya kalau dilihat-lihat lagi, apalagi kayak di zaman sekarang, belajar bahasa Inggris dulu tuh emang bagus sebenarnya, benefitnya itu banyak. Dan selama aku besar juga, aku jadi kayak selalu dapat 100 nilainya kalau nggak selalu sih, tapi kayak sering dapat nilai yang tinggi di kelas-kelas bahasa Inggris. Masalahnya itu kalau aku belajar berbicara dalam bahasa Indonesia. Wait, it's kind of fun streaming in Indonesian, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fun. Ternyata seru ya streaming pakai bahasa Indonesia. Jujur aku jarang banget stream pakai bahasa Indonesia. Aku pengen sih sebenarnya pengen stream pakai bahasa Indonesia, lebih gak often banget sih, tapi karena kayak pengen gitu beberapa stream itu dalam bahasa Indonesia. Tapi ya target market aku juga luar negeri. Jadi aku tetap harus prioritaskan bahasa Inggris, jadi maafkan. Tapi nggak berarti aku nggak mau berbahasa Indonesia. Kayak kalian kalau misalnya mau ngomong sama aku dengan bahasa Indonesia, boleh. Dulu aku punya viewer orang Indonesia yang selalu kalau di stream pakai bahasa Indonesia, dan itu aku seneng sih. Kayak oh, ngomong pakai bahasa Indonesia nih, boleh juga nih, you know. Indonesian enggak gitu. Jangan gitu. Okay, so like aku bilang tadi, aku besar di Indonesia. Aku lahir dan besar di Indonesia. Dan ya of course semua orang di lingkungan aku pakai bahasa Indonesia. Jadi like apa ya? Imagine tuh bahasa Indonesia apa? Bayangin kayak orang Indonesia yang kayak datang gitu, kayak mau ngobrol sama aku pakai bahasa Indonesia, terus aku malah ngomong balik pakai bahasa Inggris, terus mereka nggak ngerti, kasian kan? Kayak kamu itu orang Indonesia bukan sih? Don't let English colonize you, right? Nah, sebenarnya ini agak spoiler buat planning sih ya, jujur. Tapi aku planning, kita kan kemerdekaan Agustus. Aku planning pengen bikin stream yang khusus pakai bahasa Indonesia selama bulan Agustus. Aku kurang tahu akan aku agak kurang yakin akan kayak gimana nanti ke depannya. Tapi aku pengen coba pakai bahasa Indonesia untuk nanti bulan Agustusan. Kok jadi baku banget ya? Tapi aku emang sering kalau kayak menyampaikan diri aku dengan kayak diri aku sendiri, aku sering pakai aku kamu sih. Kayak gue lo tuh kayak jarang banget walaupun sama teman-teman. Kayak aku selalu pakai aku kamu. Kayak bahkan pas kayak SD gitu pun kayak udah mulai kan ngetrend tuh orang-orang teman-teman aku bilangnya pakai gue lo yuk, kita pakai gue lo yuk. Terus like aku kayak ayo kita pakai gue lo, tapi kayak selalu libetnya tuh kayak oh aku kamu, dan itu sampai sekarang. Ya jadi itu. Nah dulu juga aku playgroup itu juga ngomongnya kebanyakan bahasa Inggris, bukan internasional ya, aku nggak playgroup internasional per se, I don't think, kayaknya bukan internasional deh playgroupnya, tapi emang ngajarinnya tuh juga pakai vocabulary Inggris, jadi diajarin Inggris di pada waktu yang masih muda banget. Itu dulu. Jadi karena itu bahasa Indonesia aku rada gak terlalu developed, you know. Kayak pokoknya kamu kalau misalnya nonton stream aku kayaknya akan lebih nyaman kalau kamu tahu lebih banyak bahasa Inggris. Jujur saja ya. Soalnya aku akan sering banget keceplosan bahasa Inggris kalau misalnya ngomong pakai bahasa Indonesia. Sama sih kalau bahasa Inggris juga kadang aku kayak ketukar gitu. Nah dulu tuh bahkan tante aku yang dulunya itu teacher, guru Inggris. Tante aku dulu sempat jadi guru les Inggris. Dan bahkan dia pun dulu gak terlalu ngerti aku ngomong apa. Ini cerita dari mama aku ya. Dulu pas kecil, selayaknya anak kecil yang ada di selayaknya anak kecil lah, aku bakal kayak banyak komplain. Jadi aku bakal bilang kalau ada tante aku bakal ke dia, terus aku bilang ke dia kayak sticky. Dan untuk sementara tuh kayak gak ada yang di keluarga aku yang ngerti maksudnya tuh apa, kayak sticky itu apa, kayak sticky itu apa artinya, Dek. Akhirnya baru pas aku peragain pakai tangan aku, sticky itu lengket tuh. Terus aku punya supir kan, ini masih cerita dari kayak ibuku yang aku kumpulin khusus untuk hari ini. Aku punya supir, dan dia tuh supir udah lama banget, dari kayak aku lahir udah ada, jujur. Dan dia full Indonesia kan, jadi kayak dia nggak terlalu ngerti bahasa Inggris juga. Nah karena itu aku kalau komplain dipakai bahasa Inggris, dia tuh sampai kayak bener-bener kayak tolong dek Dek, tolong dek, pakai bahasa Indonesia dek, bapak nggak ngerti dek. Sampai kayak gitu. Nah, karena jadi kayak obviously sekarang ya karena aku bisa berbahasa Indonesia, ya of course tentu aku belajar bahasa Indonesia dong. Mas udah bisa dong bahasa Indonesianya. Terus aku masuk TK. Nah, pas TK itu mereka ngajarin bahasa Indonesia pas saat itu. Dan apparently ternyata grammar Indonesia aku tuh jelek. Dan kadang tuh sampai sekarang jeleknya. Aku kurang ngerti ya. Karena ini ya menurut mama aku ya, ini menurut ibu aku, grammar Indonesia aku tuh jelek. Dan aku kayak gak ngerti jeleknya tuh di mana, kayak apa? Ketuker-tuker lah bahasanya, atau bukan bahasa. Kayak grammarnya ketuker-tuker. Ya, seharusnya ini, seharusnya itu. Aku kayak mau nyontohin juga bingung sih jujur. Tapi kayak tanya juga gak ada yang bilang ke aku gitu loh, kayak grammar kamu tuh berantakan ya. Like, okay, aku nggak tahu loh jujur. Tapi kan kayak kalau Indonesia kan lebih gampang ya dimengertinya, kayak walaupun ketukar grammarnya kayak tetap mudah dimengerti gitu. Bentar minum dulu. Semoga jujur aku agak worried sih ya, karena ini aku kan nge-switch ke bahasa Indonesia. Aku agak worried dengan penonton aku yang bahasa Inggris, karena ya aku jarang kan pakai bahasa Indonesia. Aku sedikit worried, tapi kayak tadi itu 30 menitan lah ya kita udah berbicara dalam bahasa Inggris. Intinya sih sebenarnya sama dengan topik yang tadi, cuman ini aku pakai bahasa Indonesia karena ya emang pengen nyoba aja gitu. Melihat gitu kayak apakah akan ada orang Indonesia yang tertarik dengan stream aku kalau aku pakai bahasa Indonesia. Ini ada berbagai macam kayak reason lagi ya kenapa aku pakai bahasa Inggris, tapi kayak itu nggak terlalu penting sama yang aku mau omongin sekarang. Jadi udah minum dulu ya, capek. Kopi aku habis. Aku minum kopi pistachio latte. Pistachionya nggak ada rasanya. Kayak mau apa gitu? Kayak faedahnya tuh apa? Kayak pistachionya tuh cuman unsur doang, kayak cuman kata doang. Maknanya nggak ada. Anyways, nih ya. Problem baru lagi nih. Karena kan aku belajar bahasa Inggris dan bahasa Indonesia saat aku growing up. Jadi tuh aku kayak gak master dalam dua bahasa itu. Kayak ngerti gak sih? Kayak aneh deh. Kayak aku bisa bahasa Indonesia, tapi kayak kadang tuh gak bisa. Dan bisa bahasa Inggris tapi kadang tuh kayak ngah gitu, kayak especially kalau ngomong sama orang yang emang bahasa Inggris gitu loh. Aku pernah ke UK atau kayak ke tempat-tempat yang kayak emang banyak bahasa Inggris gitu loh, dan kadang tuh aku jadi kayak nervous gitu loh, kayak padahal aku selama aku growing up kayak aku bisa bahasa Inggris, tapi kayak tiba-tiba diajak ngomong sama orang Inggris beneran tuh kayak aduh kok aduh gitu, kayak panik gitu. Aduh. Waduh. Nah, jadi tuh kayak ya kayak aku tadi bilang, kayak vocabulary-nya jadi berantakan. Jadi aku kadang ngerti, oh aku ngomong nih tapi campur-campur pakai bahasa Inggris karena vocabulary-nya kayak ini switch dulu nih. Nah terus pagi ya. Kadang tuh dulu, ini especially dulu ya. Sekarang sih agak nggak terlalu karena udah mulai terbiasa bahasa Indonesia lah ya. Tapi dulu pas kecil aku tuh kadang sampai kurang ngerti jokes bahasa Indonesia, kayak oh bahasa Indonesia tuh kayak gini, you know, kayak jokesnya tuh kayak oh itu joke gitu, itu tuh meme gitu. Kadang tuh kayak lost in translation gitu. Dan ya of course kayak dari tadi aku bilangnya kayak struggle nih, kayak aduh pakai bahasa kayak bilingual tuh kayak susah banget. Tapi ada kok kayak keuntungannya untuk berbahasa Inggris di kalangan yang sangat bukan kalangan ada kok pro dan kayak kalau ada kontra pasti ada pronya gitu, maksudnya gitu. Aku sangat privilege bahasa Indonesia apa tuh? Aku beruntung banget untuk belajar bahasa Inggris pada saat yang sangat muda saat itu, karena ya memang terbantu untuk kedepannya. Dan karena itu juga aku jadi sangat sering dapat nilai yang bagus di kelas bahasa Inggris aja ya. Kayak bener-bener aku strength pointnya di kelas bahasa Inggris doang, jujur. Dan sedih mungkin, tapi kayak ya whatever, you know. Ada sempet nggak cuman ya of course aku dapat nilai bagus, tapi ada beberapa saat dimana aku bahkan nggak ngerti. Ada satu kelas yang aku nggak ngerti sama sekali pas aku kecil. Sekarang aku agak ngerti, tapi kayak pas kecil tuh nggak tahu kenapa kayak nggak nyangkut gitu di otak. Dan ini normal ya, ini normal untuk saat belajar bahasa. Aku ingat ini karena ini tuh pertama kali aku dapat nilai jelek di bahasa Inggris. Dan ini kelas 2 SD. Kayak itu tuh belajar tentang how much, how many. Yang dimana kayak how much tuh yang kayak gak bisa dihitung, how many itu yang bisa dihitung. Something like that, right? Nah, gak tau kenapa aku gak ngerti, dan alhasil aku dapat nilai jelek pertama aku dalam bahasa Inggris. Dan itu tuh aku kecewa banget. Kayak itu kelas 2 SD loh. Aku kecewa banget, kayak aku nilai kelas lain jelek gak peduli, tapi ini bahasa Inggris gitu loh. Kayak bener-bener the golden child gitu, yang kayak di keluarga tuh paling bisa nih bahasa Inggris, terus tiba-tiba dapat nilai jelek. Jadi kayak waduh, wah it's over for me bro. It's over for me. Tapi ya itu salah satu momen dimana aku ya bener-bener ternyata aku nggak bisa semua ini. Terus pas SMA pernah aku juga saking skor aku bagus, aku sampai impress seorang bully. Nah, orang ini tuh sebenarnya bisa friendly sama orang-orang, cuman dia tuh kadang jokesnya tuh terlalu keterlaluan, dan dia tuh temperamental banget orangnya. Jadi kayak emang agak lebih serem ya. Tapi dia sempat kok friendly sama aku. Nah, karena itu pas kelas 10 SMA ini kan baru masuk kelas. Kita masih belum terlalu kenal nih satu sama lain. Jadi pada saat itu aku nggak tahu dia itu bully. masih friendly nih, wajah-wajah friendly. Nah, pas itu aku ada tes tugas gitu pokoknya. Nah, entah karena guru aku lupa input nilai ke notebooknya atau gimana gitu, kita disuruh sebutin nilai kita dari kursi kita. Dan karena itu semua orang bisa dengar dong kayak kita dapat nilai berapa. Nah, di situ aku dapat nilai 98. Kurang 2 dari 100. Hampir perfect kan? Hampir A kan? Skornya hampir A. Dan aku duduk di belakang orang ini, belakang this guy, right? Terus itu kelas lagi sunyi. Terus aku bilang skor aku kan. Terus dia kayak diam-diam kayak wow gitu. Tentu aku bangga dong, aku harus bangga dong. Kayak gila gitu, kayak easy. Gak deng, gak terlalu easy. Also, guru ini nih, dia tuh baik banget orangnya. Aku sayang sama dia. Bukan kayak sayang yang kayak gitu loh. Kayak maksudnya kayak aku respect dia. Dia friendly banget orangnya. Dan dia juga ngajar bagus. Tapi dia tuh ngasih nilai tuh pelit. Aku tuh sempet dapat dari tugas lain dapat 98 lagi nih. Tapi karena typo. Ngerti gak sih? Typo dari affect jadi effect atau kebalikannya. Itu kan artinya beda ya. Sebenarnya artinya beda. Iya, aku ngerti. Tapi kayak karena itu aku dikurangin 2 nilainya sih. Kayak masa sih sepelit itu kah? Aku nggak pernah dapat 100 di kelas dia. Dan kadang tuh karena typo. Kayak aduh, frustasi. Tapi dia seru kok orangnya. Dia seru untuk diajak ngobrol dan dia juga baik banget orangnya. Nggak, aku kayak frustasi karena dikit lagi. Frustasinya tuh dari diri aku, bukan ke dianya juga. Pelit sih pelit, tapi kayak and she's speaking the language of angel. Hello. But ya, Oke. Ini untuk again, aku nggak tahu apakah ada orang tua yang nonton stream aku atau enggak. Tapi kalau kamu mau ini khusus untuk orang Indonesia ya, karena aku berbahasa Indonesia. Jadi aku jelasinnya pakai bahasa Inggris agak lebih untuk siapapun gitu. Tapi kalau ini khusus bahasa untuk orang-orang Indonesia ya. Orang tua orang Indonesia. Aduh. Orang tua orang Indonesia, prioritaskan belajar bahasa Indonesia dulu ya untuk anak-anak kalian. Jangan langsung kayak langsung belajar bahasa Inggris nih, bagus nih. Karena nanti gedenya tuh mereka jadi bingung ngomongnya, akan ketukar-tukar dengan vocabulary. Jadi kalau ngomong sama sesama orang Indonesia tuh kadang jadi agak sulit kalau emang gak dibiasain pakai bahasa Indonesia. Unless mereka biasa bahasa Indonesia dan tetap bisa bahasa Inggris, go ahead. Tapi tetap prioritaskan, karena kita orang Indonesia, prioritaskan bahasa Indonesia. Kayak bahasa Inggris tuh bisa kapan aja. If you really think about it. Kalau kayak English tuh bisa kapan aja. Especially kalau masih muda ya. Kayak kalau masih muda tuh emang lebih prioritaskan bahasa Indonesia, karena biar kamu ngomong sama anak kamu atau anak kamu ngomong sama orang lain jadi mudah gitu, gak belibet gitu, jadi enak, smooth, lancar. Kadang kalau pakai bahasa Inggris anak kamu kurang ngerti, kamu juga nggak ngerti gitu. Kayak kalau kamu, especially kalau kamu juga bahasa Inggrisnya kurang lancar ya lah ya. Tetap prioritaskan bahasa Indonesia dulu. Kayak bahasa Inggris tuh ya untuk beberapa orang bahasa Inggris itu sulit. Tapi sebenarnya bisa kok selama kamu kayak ngerti cara ngejelasinnya untuk anak-anak, atau ya paling enggak dikasih kursus atau les gitu kalau misalnya memang bisa. Tapi English itu nggak bukan itu kan apa sih hard. It's not that hard. It's bukan parah. Why is parah in my mind? It's not parah. Sulit, gak sulit. English itu gak terlalu sulit kalau diajarkan dengan baik dan benar. Atau bukan baik, kayak diajarkan secara tulus gitu loh. Kayak kamu harus tahu cara belajar bahasa Inggris yang baik. Kalau misalnya advice dari aku, pesan gitu dari aku, coba cari kata-kata yang mudah dulu, yang mudah ditranslate dari English ke Indonesia. Kayak pronunciation itu nggak harus langsung bisa, karena ya itu nanti juga akan terbiasa selama kamu tahu hurufnya dulu deh, katanya dulu deh, vocabulary-nya dulu. Misalnya nih, buku, book, apa lagi ya? Grammar juga sebenarnya penting, tapi gak sepenting itu. Ngerti gak sih? Kayak kamu masih bisa kok berbahasa Inggris tanpa grammar yang super duper fasih. Pasti akan bisa kok. It's pokoknya tuh waktu. Hanya it's all apa ya? Aduh, jadi lupa lagi. Nanti akan bisa kok. It takes time. Ya akan apa ya kalau bahasa Indonesia it takes time. aduh. But ya, ada akan waktunya dimana kamu akan bisa berbahasa Inggris. Akan memakan waktu, iya pasti. Tapi pasti hasilnya akan lebih memuaskan. Dah. Aku bahasa Indonesianya sampai situ dulu. Nanti kita lanjutkan bahasa Indonesia di bulan Agustusan. Well then, hope you enjoyed hearing me in Indonesian. I genuinely enjoyed speaking in Indonesian, honestly, on stream. It's pretty fun actually. I was planning, I told this in Indonesian, but I was planning on maybe doing more Indonesian streams in August, the month of August, because we have Independence Day on August. So I was thinking maybe in August we can do more Indonesian speaking streams. Who knows? But time will tell. Anyways, been a while. A bit of a shorter topic if you're listening in English. I know. Just thought, getting it all out. Alright, you done with your food or drink? I finished my coffee. And I also had cake actually. I didn't tell you, but I had cake, but I already finished it before you came, so... Alright, it's actually getting late now. We should bounce. We should go now. Makannya udah kan? Makannya udah selesai? Minumnya udah selesai? Udah yuk. Split bill? Split bill? Yeah? Alright, thank you. Of course. For next week's stream, I might actually do something interesting. I want to try something. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to put it out in a scheduled form or not. I want to try a week where I just kind of stream freely. Not for any reason at all. It's just kind of like experimental. Again, we're in our experimental stage and like our 3rd month. But yeah. Alright. We should really bounce now. Shop is closing. Let's go. Okay, I'll see you back in office next week. Jana! Bye bye. Stay safe. We're going home. Bye bye.